Hi, welcome to day 4 of our Devotionals for our week of prayer and fasting. And I want to draw our attention to 1 Kings in chapter 18, where the prophet Elijah begins to pray. And what it is there'd been a huge drought in the land, but yet we read here in verse 42 that he goes up to the top of Mount Carmel and he bent down to the ground and put his face between his knees. And then he said to his servant, "Go and look towards the sea," in verse 43. And he went up and he looked, and the servant says, "There is nothing there." Isn't that just sometimes like our prayers? Like we've done all the right things and we're praying and believing for God to do what only he can do, and yet we look and nothing is there. And what's interesting here is Elijah says to his servant again, in fact he says 7 times, go back and look. He tells him 7 times. And there is a persistence and a wholeheartedness in our prayers that just hangs on and waits and believes that God will come through. And it says here in verse 44, the 7th time the servant reported, "A cloud as small as a man's hand is rising from the sea." And so they are going to see rain again. And I just want to challenge myself. Have we given up on the 2nd time, the 3rd time, the 4th time? Surely you need to stop by the 5th time. The 6th time. In this story, 7 times Elijah sends his servant back, and finally they see that God is at work. Faith is simply trusting in the character of God. If God has promised, then God is able and will do what he's promised to do. So I want to encourage us in our faith today. As we pray, let's persevere, let's persist and believe God for what only he can do.